Hello and welcome to the Ferret Business Podcast. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy, aka DJ Yemmy. And with me today is a Let's Player who has played games like Bayonetta, League of Legends, and Outlast to name a few on his channel. But he's also reviewing books on his new Wednesday book vlog series, and his name is LOLSenpai777. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Yemmy.
All of his social medias will be down below in the description, of course, so check them out at your leisure. How you doing today, Senpai?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm just chugging along as usual. So
I hear you there.
Let's start off with the name LOLSenpai777 because it's a peculiar name to someone who doesn't know what it means, and I think I know what the LOL stands for. It's got to be League of Legends, right?
Yeah, you got it. It's quite a mouthful for sure. When I first came up with the name, my channel, believe it or not, was originally not going to be a Let's Play channel. It was going to be a channel where I just do League of Legends music montages, and I was trying to find a name that wouldn't copy other YouTubers like Markiplier and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there's a lot of generic YouTube names that sound similar. So I was like, well, I'll just go with simple but unique. So I put like LOL. And then I said, well, Senpai, right? So that's a good name. So I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, there's a lot of LOL Senpais. So I was like, okay, I need to add something to this. So I was like, hey, you know what? Lottery machine, 777. There we go.
Lucky number 7.
Exactly. So I basically just pieced it all together. It just came to be, and then my channel just took off.
Nice. It's stuck, right?
Yeah, it's been in the mud for a while.
Well, speaking of League of Legends, literally last episode I was talking to True North Koala, who is a huge League of Legends player. What drew you into the game personally, from your side of the story?
Personally, I originally started playing it in 2010. The game came out in 2009. What drew me in was the uniqueness of, one, the teamwork, two, and how you had to think about the items, how to use them in a real-time battle. Because back then, I was playing like browser-based games. I was like turn-based. You just click a button and it does everything for you.
Right.
And the appeal of a real-time battle and thinking throughout that match was what really drew me in.
So what makes League of Legends for you stand out among the rest of the that type of game? Like, there's the Lord of the Rings one that came out. There was there's other ones like Dota 2 and stuff like that. What makes it stand out apart from those games for you?
That's a good question. I don't think it actually stands out. I think it's more like I'm being stubborn now.
Okay.
Because I've been playing it for like, oh my God, almost 10 years. But what originally made it stood out in the beginning was I like the style of the art that they did. Like, if you know my channel, you'll know that my favorite champion of all time is Ashe. I don't care what the champion is. It's Ashe. It's always Ashe. But what drew me in was the art style, all the, significant details they put in it. I'm probably going to get a lot of comments on this, but I didn't really like Dota.
Oh.
Yeah. Putting it out there.
Well, who knows? Maybe a Dota 2 fan will come into the comments and just try and rip you a new one. But
there you go. Leave a like if you enjoyed.
So, because I'm not a huge League of Legends player, I went out into a couple Discords and asked some of the people who knew you some questions that they would like to ask you. And
God.
The first person wanted to know, why do you defend League of Legends so much?
I think it's mistaken. I know it gets a lot of hate because I will admit it is a very toxic game platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as it was like a couple of years ago. But the reason why I defend it is because it is a game where you can get past the toxicity by finding people that you can play a match with. And after that, the game is really fun, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another person wanted to ask, and I have no clue what this means. I know you like to play the ADC, but what's it like to get carried every game?
Oh, God.
No clue.
ADC stands for Attack Damage Carry. Which is basically saying that you carry the whole team with your damage. And while Ashe is famous for being really fast for their arrows, she's not exactly famous for her damage nowadays. So he's basically saying, how's it feel to be carried by the support all the time? Pretty good, I'll say. It's actually made it more complicated, actually, because I have to juggle when to go in and when to run away, and it's actually made it a lot more difficult, but that's why I like it. It's a challenge.
Is there any other characters you like to use, or is it just Ashe? Is that the one for you?
It's just Ashe. I will, if I'm forced into the situation with my hands tied, play Leona, but that's it. That's it for me.
So, can you guess who asked you those two questions?
I have a pretty good idea, but I don't think I can guess who it is. I think it's Koala.
No, one of them was Joyful Death. And actually, I asked that question on her stream, and she was like, "Oh, he was here earlier. I hope he isn't listening right now." And then the other one was Pikey.
Oh, okay.
So you can direct any hate towards them.
Trust me, JD's gonna get all the gifs.
So, I know you told this story on Chronoside's Discord server a little while ago, but I was hoping you could kind of retell the story of why you wear glasses.
Yes. So that's basically pretty much a funny story. I've not wore glasses all my life. I started wearing glasses at, oh my god, so long ago now. I feel old. 14, I believe. And basically what it was is I was going all Abraham Lincoln and taking books into my room and reading in the dark because I just couldn't put the book down.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically the doctor says, if you don't quit, you're going to lose your eyesight and wear glasses. And I was like, you know what? Books are for reading, not for keeping. Literally, it was the reading that made me lose my eyesight.
So how many books a day how many books a week were you reading?
Oh my gosh. Back then I was reading close to 7 or 8 books a week, depending on how big it was.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was quite into books, actually.
So books are obviously a big part of your life then.
Very, very.
And
I would say
go ahead.
I would say I passed a lot of hours with books.
And you've been putting them on your channel more and more, right?
Yeah, I figured, since it's a big thing and I still have a huge collection, like, if a fire started in my room, I would be gone. So I figured I'd just bring it to the channel and see what the feedback was. And it was actually surprising what I got back. So I said, well, going with it.
Well, you've given me some pretty good recommendations. But before we get to that, I have a very tough question for you. What has been your favorite book series or book in general that you've read over the years that you've been reading?
Oh god, the pain. Oh no. Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, I've read so many. I guess I would have to go with the Mortal Instruments series. I would have to go with that.
And what's that one about?
I actually talked about that on my Wednesday blog. That's a series about these demon hunters who protect the mortal realm from all the underworld and all the demons because the mortals don't see them and they just basically get picked off. And they're basically invisible heroes of the world who protect the world from demons and vampires, werewolves. I mean, you name it, it has it. So. And it really interested me because it is for younger audiences, so it doesn't go into like 50 million word long paragraphs. But it's actually a mature theme, so it's not too childish, so it's like really grips you and keeps you whole.
Okay, so it's not on like the Moby Dick side of books then, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. But it definitely keeps you thinking.
What is the longest book you've read? Because I think Moby Dick is probably my longest book I read, and I regret every page of that one, to be honest with you.
You and me both. Longest as in like the worst book, or longest as in the longest book?
Well, yeah, kind of like the longest book is taking you to read, probably one that you haven't liked, that much, and you just like, all right, let's just finish it anyways.
That would have to be. I think that would have to be Abraham Lincoln, the autobiography, because I mean it was interesting, but it had a lot of dry spells, and that book was like 1,200 pages long. Whew. And me being a book lover, it took me 3 months to read.
Wow! So yeah, you went from eight books a week to one book in 3 months.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I was reading books in between that too.
I would too. Autobiographies are tough to get through, that's for sure.
They sure are.
So speaking of books that you've recommended to me, I finally finished reading Altered Carbon, and I was watching a little bit of the Netflix series, and I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit about the book and the Netflix series a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So, I loved Altered Carbon. It was a great recommendation to me. It was a great pick. And I just wanted to know, what was your favorite part of the book?
Ooh, you got me there. I haven't read the book yet. Oh, yeah. I watched the show, though, and I knew it was a book.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say my favorite pieces of the show were the way that they sieved from body to body. That was like a concept that really blew my mind.
Yeah, it was really cool to read about it too. It's definitely one you
should read. Yeah, I bet it was.
So far the Netflix series has been pretty different from the book. Like they kept a lot of the same like themes going on with it, but there are some like minor things they changed that was like, I don't know. It's like, why even change that? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird when things do that.
I read about that, and I think the main reason is they didn't get a lot of funding because, of course, it's a Netflix show, so right. It's not going to get a lot of funding. And two, I believe the book series is actually not co-linking, like it doesn't follow the same storyline. So they were like, okay, we're just going to make one season and be done with it. So.
Yeah, it's I like what they did with the first episode with kind of introducing Kovacs. And instead of having like one big chunk of the first part of the book be about him in the 250 years ago, in that part of they just kind of like pieced it in between different events that were happening during the first episode. I thought that was cool, but there's like things like little things like instead of it being Curtis being the driver for Bancroft. It's his son Isaac, and I was like, why even do that? Curtis was a big part of he wasn't a big part, but he was like a player in the book who was actually there. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do. I'm gonna of course watch the rest of it, of course, but it's interesting to kind of see it, and read it and be like, okay, this was different.
Yeah, it's always an adventure when you read the book first and then watch the show because there's only two reactions. One, oh, the show was awesome. Two, I hate this show, never bring it back.
So are there any book to TV series that you like?
There's actually not many because I personally think the book is better because it has a lot more information you can soak up. Gosh, I guess I would have to say they're doing fairly mildly okay on the Mortal Instruments series, but there is a lot of story that they leave out, like huge chunks. And I think that's because of, they can only do so much with movie effects and budgeting. But
True.
yeah, I'd say in the Mortal Instruments, I would enjoy if I hadn't read the book.
So, do you think that comparing book to TV to book to movie, which one is better for the format? What is it, book to TV or book to movie that's better for you personally?
That's a good question. I know a lot of movies that were made into books that did okay. I personally think, even though I just said like book to movies or book to series are terrible, I think that's the best platform to go by because they already have the story. So again, they can just build from there and do what they can with it. So book to movie, I feel, is the best format.
Did you end up seeing Ready Player One and reading the book, or not yet?
Oh, I haven't even seen the movie yet.
Oh, well, I will just skip over that question then. So, you've played games like Bayonetta, Outlast, The Witcher 3 on your channel, along with League of Legends, of course. Are there any games that are waiting on deck for you to play?
Oh yeah, I have actually quite a few. And it was a poll on my Twitter what I was gonna do next, and ding ding ding, Naked Run Dark Souls 3 won, so I have that to look forward to. Yeah, I actually got a great deal on 2 or 3 games that will be coming in the future, and I'm really excited about it.
Awesome, man. Are you nervous about the Dark Souls run then?
I'm always nervous when I play that game.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the remaster of the original one to come out. I've never played the original one, and I'm more used to the newer controls now, so I'm hoping they at least tweak the controls a little bit to be more in line with the new ones. But
yeah, mine are crossed too, because I haven't played that game either, and I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, everyone always sings the high praises of Dark Souls 1, but we'll see. We'll see.
They better make controls like with my controls, because other than that, I'm gonna do horribly.
Right. So, at the time that we were recording this, you were practically at 350 subscribers, and hopefully by the time this uploads, you'll be on your way to, 450, maybe more. What's the plans for your next milestone?
My next plans were, coming up with new, unique video ideas for Wednesday. Wednesday book vlog's doing great, but it's not gonna last forever. It's my back pocket can't keep buying books. Like, if I buy any more books, my floor will give out. So I have some ideas backlogged for Wednesday, and I think it'll do great. As for Milestones, I have this ongoing thing up to 500. I want to do a video shout out and video tour of Sillin's channel. Just basically spread the love of everyone supporting me. So I just try to support everyone. And the biggest milestone will be at 500, where I'll be doing a giveaway.
Ooh.
And it'll be some really nice games.
Well, that's a cool idea, doing a virtual tour of someone's channel. Well, where did you get that idea from?
Actually didn't get it anywhere. I was just sitting there one day. I was like, what can I do to give back? And I was like, oh, right, I can record my screen. Oh, we can do a video tour. Logic, that's how that works.
Well, that's a really cool idea. I'm glad you came up with that. I'm sure plenty of people will enjoy watching those.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, final question for today. If you were stuck in a big pot with only your torso showing, what would you use to try and get over obstacles?
It definitely wouldn't be a hammer. Why would you use a hammer? Take this question seriously. Butter. Because then I would get myself out of the pot
I see.
and run away.
He's a thinker.
Just right out of there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I would use personally. I mean, I guess butter is a good idea, but if I had to use something, I mean, whew.
I'd say a pickaxe because it's pointier, grabs on more.
That's true. That's definitely true. That's a good idea. Yeah, but I'll go with pitchfork. Not pitchfork. Pickaxe.
Yeah, pitchfork. That would go great.
Well, if I have to get over hay,
I'm pretty sure there's no hay.
So, what was the hardest part of getting over it? Was it just the controls, or was it how the game was laid out, or was it the guy who was giving you pointers in the background every so often?
The most difficult part was uploading. No. I would have to say the mouse, because it's so maniacally frustrating, because you're so used to it, just like over exaggerating your mouse movements, but it's just like so sensitive. Like the idea of moving your mouse to get over things is just like, why would you do that?
Would you buy a second game, or are you done with the first one? That's it.
Oh, if he comes out with a second game, I should forget it.
All right. Well, I just want to thank LOLSenpai777 for being on the podcast. It's been a great time, man. Seriously, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Like I said before, his social medias will be down in the description. Check him out if you like books, if you like video games, if you like anything of the sort. Check him out. The links will be below, as I just said again. Is there anything else you want to add before we end the show?
League of Legends is the best, JD. Bye.
All right, well, you heard the man. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been another episode of the Ferret Business Podcast.